You can't possibly be friends with Timothy, Janice, because otherwise you'll marry him. And that, Peaches, is what we call an optimist.
Misophonia. I do like the body drums. I am not understanding this forum and like the level of hate towards OP.
You are not the baby daddy. Goodbye. Just be careful with what you do with your appendage. You're through to 1-800-DRAMA.
The show where you share your biggest dilemmas.
And we help you navigate them.
I'm Shaaba.
And I'm Jamie.
Come join us as we help people figure out if they are the drama.
Because sometimes you just need an outside perspective.
And we can all expand our own mindsets along the way.
Wait, am I the drama? Red flag, green flag, Shaaba?
Hit me.
No, thank you. But I will tell you, being friends with people of the opposite gender.
Do you know, my head was like, what's gender?
Good question.
No, I green flag it.
Yeah.
How can you red flag something like
it's
that?
such like the straights not being okay, heteronormative expectations, being like, oh, you can't possibly be friends with Timothy, Janice, because otherwise you'll marry him. Sorry, I had a bit of sugar.
Who are you in this Timothy Janice situation?
I am Kevin.
Bertrold.
Moving on. Shaaba.
I find it so funny. It's giving, oh, that young little baby will be such a heartbreaker when he's grown up, which is so bizarre to me.
And oh look, Jessica and Jack are holding hands. They are 2 years old. They are boyfriend and girlfriend. It's so weird.
You know who really wins in this situation though? The gays. Because
and the days.
as everyone's constantly like, oh no, you can't be friends. Susan and Katie are behind a closed door doing all the experimenting that they need to do. As long as it's consensual and of age and safe, I'm here for it. Obviously green flag. Is there any world in which it could be a red flag?
Let's think really hard.
I'm actually thinking.
No.
Peaches, if you can think of anything, let us know. That was a really quick green flag.
Yeah.
Any updates your end, Timothy?
I got a new tattoo.
You did.
I did. Of a little guinea wig.
A little guinea pig holding a Mr. Whippy.
Yeah, holding
Do you
Mr.
want to show
Whippy.
it off?
You can just put a photo.
Okay.
I will provide you with a photograph.
Cute. I too have got a new tattoo.
I was going to say,
recently,
what
actually.
about you, madam?
I mean, I wasn't, but yeah. I mean, here's a photo of my new tattoo. Mine is very fresh, actually. I literally just got it done yesterday at the time filming this. So I'm currently sitting here with cling film on my leg. If you hear a rustle, that's what it's from. Working on some new tunes. If you don't know that Shaaba tunes are a thing, go listen to the Shaaba tunes, please. All right, my love, are you ready to go fishing? For
Drama.
a horse. Let's go.
Wee.
Ooh, drama.
Am I the drama? What are you doing?
It's my little fishing pose.
You have never done that before.
What do you mean? I do it Okay, I do it in my individual episodes. Fake fan, it's fine. The Peaches understand. Just roll with it.
Am I the drama, Shaaba?
Yes, always.
For refusing to hang out with my friend's girlfriend because I don't want to be her friend.
You friend's girlfriend because I don't want to be her friend.
friend.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
If you have a blanket ban on being friends with
Your friend's
a friend's partner, just
partners.
like generally, I'm confused. But if there is
That
a
would be an odd
specific reason, it would be an odd rule. Very restrictive. You could miss out on meeting a lot of lovely
Fantastic
people.
friendship groups, yeah.
But if there's a reason, then I see it.
Well, like if it's like, you know, protruding your little personal bubble of safety. Do you know what I mean? Like if someone was like homophobic or just a dick and made you feel personally unsafe, I could understand.
Or if they're just really, really boring.
I don't know, I still feel like you would need to make an effort because if not for them, for your friend. It depends on how close you are with a friend. It depends on how boring are we talking.
Very like paint dry boring.
But then my question is, why would your friends be with someone like that in the first place? If you're friends with someone, you will likely have similar interests, right? So you would
Right.
find the same kinds of people boring. It's unusual, I feel like, that you would have a friend who would date someone who you really wouldn't like.
It really depends on like how they go about dating, because I do think sometimes people will be friends with those that they share a lot of interests with and socializing with, and then date people that they maybe don't share as many interests. Like not everybody is friends or best friends with the person they're dating, especially in the earlier days. So you don't know, like maybe they're not on that level.
Maybe, yeah.
So
maybe.
I think we should read the post.
And sometimes, and it's true, we have got some friends who have some really questionable taste in partners.
Exactly.
Not now, for any of our friends watching. But you know, like in the past, we've had some doozies.
Yeah.
Doozy's such a great word.
Doozy.
All right, let's read the post. OP says, I am a 24-year-old woman and I have a friend, a 24-year-old man, who has recently started seeing a goyle. We'll call him Joe and her Sarah. Joe and I are very close, although we only became friends at the beginning of this year, and he said he considers me one of his besties.
Okay.
That's fine, isn't it?
Yeah.
I feel like
People
there's
fall
no
in love in less time.
Right, there's no like set time to find your I was
Soul
gonna say
friend.
soulmate, but yes, a soul friend. That's so cute. It makes me think of like two fishes, you know, just like bobbing along.
Two lemon souls.
Two souls.
Carry on.
Carry on. You can make me cry. I know, says OP. He's mentioned me to Sarah a lot because of how close we are, and as their relationship has progressed from a casual to something more serious.
I knew you were going to say casual like that.
Just like that.
No,
I
like,
don't even know how it's going to come out sometimes.
no, I was like, in my head was saying she's going to say casual, not casual.
Do something more.
Serious.
Both of them leave it to me. Have been keen for me to hang out with them and get close with her. I feel like it's natural to want your friends to meet your partners and have a good time. There's a moment in a relationship. You don't just invite your lover to go and see your friends immediately.
flubber.
Your flubber. No,
Or
you have
your
to wait
flubber.
for your flubber to see your friends. It's almost like bringing your flubber back to the rents.
Especially if your friends have seen you go through several flubbers.
Several
After
flubbers.
a while, it's like, oh, Joe is bringing
Another flubber.
the fifth flubber.
I wonder what flavour this flubber is.
Boring. Let's find out what flavour this flubber is and why OP does not like the flubber.
I don't mean to make everything like about the gay, but I also think that within like our certain situation, chosen family is so important too. Within like the LGBT plus community, I have noticed that friends are so much more important because they are your family.
Right.
For anybody who is estranged or, you know, where friendship in the more traditional structures means a lot more than just friendship.
Right.
It means something. And so that person has to be a good fit, but also you as the friends need to do everything you can to be there in support, I feel.
I hear what you're saying, but if they're really damn boring.
Yeah, if they're really down, but like you got to give it a try, like
Sure.
like a good old college try.
Yeah, I hear you.
And what does college try mean?
I have no idea. I've never heard you say that before. I've actually never heard it before.
I've heard it before, but I don't quite know what it means.
Okay, well, you've said it now.
Okay, all right.
Carry
Anyway,
on.
Obi continues. The problem is I'm not keen to spend time with her. I've only met her once, but I spent pretty much the whole day with her and Joe from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m, so I can confidently assert that she and I have nothing in common other than Joe.
Very interesting phrasing.
We
With
have nothing in common other than this human being. I also find it a bit odd because I'm like, again, kind of like what we were saying with the red flag, green flag. Was it then? Am I mixing conversations up? For Joe to like her, I'm assuming that you must have some commonalities.
Okay, but imagine the scenario.
Okay.
OP is interested in music, photography, and horror movies. My
You've kind of
voice
just
went,
described me
yes.
and you.
Yeah, I looked around the room. Joe is interested in photography and horror movies.
Cool.
So they bond on that.
Right. Okay.
Wait for it.
Okay.
Sarah
Yeah.
is interested in football, Lego,
Oh, I love Lego.
and romance movies.
Fine.
And Joe likes romance and Lego. So they bond on romance and Lego, but OP and Sarah, no crossover.
Okay, but you're telling me that us, right, who like always love a good horror, always love a cheeky little thriller, cut my mind, do it, I dare you. I'm all up for that. I love a little bit of Bridgerton. Love it. Love it. Like, just because you're super into horror doesn't mean that you can't occasionally like a little bit of the Cheetah Girls. A little bit of Hannah Montana. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can be
It was one example.
multi...
Although, okay,
movie.
yeah, but what if somebody was only interested in watching medical documentaries with a
Right,
lot
or
of
like-
surgical procedures in?
Sure. Or they're
You
like
would hate that. I would watch it. You would hate
Or they're
it.
like a massive true crime fan.
Yeah.
And so everything they do is all true crime. Sure, but like, bet they love a Nando's. If it was not a Nando's, like, I bet they love going to Thorpe Park. I bet there is something. Maybe they're like a little puzzle. Maybe there's just
puzzle.
just something that, you know, you both could enjoy doing. Even if you don't like hanging out with them and having like deep chats. And bear in mind, you've only hung out with her once, right? Maybe there's a world in which, you know, you just find out that you're like mooching around the charity shops.
And that, Peaches, is what we call an optimist.
I don't know. I think everyone can be fascinating. Sure,
You
some
are
people
so
are boring.
sweet.
No.
You
I
are
hate
very
no,
sweet.
Don't. I was just about to unsweeten. Let me add some salt to this mix. I'm not a fan of
You are the popcorn.
beer. I'm not a fan of fantasy football. There are many things that I don't like in this life. If you had a friend that you really loved who was a fantasy football beer loving
Fanatic.
potato, then I would be like, yeah, let's get to know.
Drink beer and watch a football match.
No, I wouldn't do that. But
What if that's all the friend wanted to do? And when they spoke, like 90% of the chat was football.
But maybe you find something that you can talk about.
I love your optimism, and I know that you would do that for people.
You
You
could,
would
like,
try and find some commonality.
Bake a cake in the shape of a football.
However,
find
not-
a puzzle that's a football.
However, not everybody has that level of patience
Oh, that's a
or
good idea,
want.
huh?
You're very cute.
I'm just saying, I think there's a world around it. If you love the friend enough, if you love Joe enough,
Where there's a
you
Joe,
would try and make it work.
there's a Sarah.
Opie says, trying to have a conversation was difficult because we don't even like the same books or movies or music, and I didn't feel engaged in our
But
conversations.
that is boring.
But there are other things in the world. We just had this conversation.
Oh, please just use some examples, ma'am.
Let's see. I considered leaving early at one point because I just wasn't that interested in hanging out any longer. She's really nice
I felt like that.
and really smart, but I don't see myself ever developing a friendship with her, and I would rather spend my time on relationships that are more worthwhile to me.
I do agree with that.
Yeah,
Like,
fair.
what if you don't have the most amount of time and you're social, like, you have your core group of friends, and it's like, I do not want to spend my Friday night talking about these boring things that I'm not interested in.
It is true that sometimes friendships do fall apart because other people are very into relationships that are just not part of your vibe. Maybe it's
Yeah.
not even just relationships. Like, I can know of friends who have gotten into friendships with other friends and have become so sort of enthralled in something else that's
Yeah.
really not my vibe,
Yeah.
that I've been like, cool, we've
Yeah.
just thrown in different directions and that's okay.
Yeah.
Let's finish the post. This has started to become a big issue because when I try to make plans with Joe or he proposes plans with me, he will invite Sarah without telling me.
Oh,
If it's still new, that's a bit weird on Joe.
yeah.
Yeah.
That is.
I'm hosting a small get-together for close friends, maximum 5 people at my apartment this weekend, and he invited her to my home without telling me.
Oh,
I'd be really pissed off at that,
Different.
to be fair.
Yeah,
This
no,
is
we
very
don't do
different.
that.
Especially, like, if you're doing a really close something.
yeah.
No. I found out today, and he said that he can't take the invitation back because it will really upset her and hurt her feelings if she's uninvited.
That's his problem.
No, it is an awkward one, though, isn't it? It is. You don't just uninvite someone. You can't
yeah,
be like,
and then
well,
this
no.
could impact OP's friendship with Joe if he then has to do something that upsets him and upsets his girlfriend.
No, at this point, realistically talking, this is us. We'd be like, okay,
Don't do it again.
Bring them next time. Ask me first, bro. It's
Yeah.
still new, it's still new. So you got to ask because this was a close thing. Especially because like there are definitely groups of which I want to like unmask in. I
Yeah.
want to not feel like I have to have any kind of guard up.
Yeah.
And so this would
Yeah,
annoy
yeah.
me.
This would frustrate me.
I feel like maybe I'm overreacting, says OP, by being so mad about this because it makes sense that she would want to get to know me better, and especially because we're both women. What's that got to do with anything? My not wanting to out with her feels catty.
Oh, is OP trying to say there's like a gender stereotype on it?
Maybe. I don't think there has to be, though. I don't want her to think, says OP, that I'm being pick-me or a possessive girl best friend, and I worry that's how I'm behaving. What's a girl best friend?
I think that's good, like, level of introspection from OP, though. I don't really know the term. The only thing I can think of as a slight comparable is like mother-in-laws with their sons sometimes feeling a bit like the partner of the son getting really frustrated because she's
Interesting.
overstepping. So I can only think of it in that context where maybe like girl best friend is that like a guy's best friend who's a girl who gets all like jealous and protective of him when he gets a new girlfriend and pushes her away.
Interesting. However, says OP, I also feel like I have a right to know who I'll be spending time with before I agree to a plan.
I do agree with that.
Because I should be allowed to walk away from events and situations where people I don't feel like spending time with are there. And I certainly have a right to say who comes in my home and who does not.
Yes.
I also feel that it's wrong of Joe to put me in a position of looking like a villain for saying no. Yeah, and he has put you in that position. So, am I the drama for refusing to hang out with my friend's girlfriend because I don't want to be her friend?
See, that feels like a different question. I feel like the question is more specifically within certain contexts. It's not that OP is saying, I'm refusing to see her, I never want to see her, we've got nothing in common. OP is just like, if I'm hosting a small get-together for my nearest and dearest, I don't want new girlfriend on the scene to be there.
I think that there are two different questions here, but I think it's OP that's conflating the two. I think OP's like, look, I don't particularly like her and I don't want to hang out, and this thing has happened with this specific event, so can I just not hang out with her in total? And I think the answer is, you are absolutely right, and within your right to be mad about this situation. The reality is you're in this situation now, the invite's gone out, and if you do take it back, she's gonna know. And she doesn't need to know that it's because you don't like her. She could just know, like, like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, if I were Joe, I'd be like, babe, I'm really sorry. We're still new. We're hanging out with these other friends who, you know, we've all known for a while. But it might be that actually, because Joe's also relatively new, it might be that that's not the case. It could be that they're close, but not long-term friends, which is often what you'd say to a partner, right? I feel like if you'd said to me, I know we've been together for like...
It's so hard
it
as
is
well,
really
though,
hard.
because we've been together for so long and we've formed our friendship group together. It's never something we, as in us being in Joe and Sarah's position.
Yes, but at the same time, we do have our separate, like, interests, and we do have separate friends in said interests. Like, if I was invited to something with, like, just my music club, there are times in which I'm like, hey, Jamie, would you like to come along to this? But there are times where I'm like, I don't even ask you, and you don't feel bad because that's my thing, and then you've got your thing.
Yeah, it's gravy, baby.
It's gravy.
Well, no, that's a prime example.
Right.
I love and I support your music, and I think you are beautiful and talented and amazing, and I want to hear
As other
everything
people that I work with.
you do. However, I am not interested in that way in the world of music. So if you invited me to something where everybody's going to be singing together and talking music and the industry, I will be bored.
Maybe you'll come to, like, the occasional one to support me.
Yes, I will come with you to support you.
Yeah.
But I would be totally fine if, like, you made a music bestie who was like, didn't invite me to most things because they
Right.
just knew that I wasn't on that vibe.
But
That's
how would you
fine.
feel then if I was like, okay, so there's this thing coming up. You know the thing that I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Right, there's this thing coming up and I've invited you along.
Yeah.
How would you feel if so-and-so came to me and was just like, oh, so sorry, Shaaba, wish you didn't do that because it was just supposed to be like a really small group. And I went, hey, babe, sorry, I don't mean to be a dick. It's just because, you know, like...
I'm not a good person to ask.
Because you'd be like, yay, what reading time.
But also, like, you would never put either of us in that position because you asked
I wouldn't
first.
do
It was
that
like a
in the
type
first
of
place.
event that you could have a +1 to, but you just needed to confirm who it would be, so you
It
did.
is true. I also think, though, like, mistakes happen. I don't think Joe's wrong for doing that, but I do think there is... No, wait.
I think he's wrong about the apartment thing, like inviting his...
Yes, no, sorry, hang on. Yes, it's wrong, but, like, I don't think he meant harm by it. So I actually don't think that you would be the villain for saying no, but I do think that OP maybe is the drama a little bit. Hear me out.
I'm hearing.
Not for this event, but for now being like, for refusing to hang out with you in total, because I just don't want to be your friend. Like, be annoyed at this and fine, even make steps to not have her come to this intimate gathering. But I do think, especially if you've only met once, bro, once, give it a go. For Joe's sake, you should give it a go. And if you really don't have anything in common, then maybe this is someone that you occasionally go to dinner with on their birthday party when they've invited 30 people to a dinner and you go to support Joe. And that's
Yes.
it. And that's fine.
Yeah.
But like, to refuse to hang out, I do think feels quite excessive unnecessarily.
Yeah.
For a bestie.
I think as long as you still feel like you're able to be friends with Joe and hang out together in the way you did before, because that friendship was formed before the relationship came about, but you also appreciate the fact that within certain contexts he's going to want his partner there as well, I think that's fine and that's healthy to do a mix. Maybe the rule going forward as well is you hang out with Joe, sometimes you hang out with your like OG friendship group without Sarah, but then in a group she's there, because
Yeah.
like that takes off the pressure of you guys specifically needing to hang out and talk and be buddies.
Or like when there's an actual activity that you're doing. You
Yeah.
know, you're going to Thorpe Park.
Yeah, you might not want to go out for like a pub lunch with Joe and Sarah,
Or you're
just
sharing
the
your
three of
deepest,
you.
darkest secrets, but maybe you're going to the cinema where you don't actually have to talk and your friendship then develops over shared experiences. But I
Yeah.
also think there's a world, right, in which you can find something. I refuse to believe that there's absolutely nothing that the two of you have in common.
No, I genuinely think that can happen. With love, I
Okay.
disagree.
That's fine. How would you feel, though, if you had a friend and you two really loved hanging out, just the two of you, but then you were like, cool, because we're such a couple friend. Do you know what I mean? Like, we are always together.
We're a package.
We are like 90% going to be a package.
Yeah.
And so, like, how would you feel if someone you were really close with was like, I want to hang out with you, but I don't want to hang out with Shaaba. Like, I have no interest in hanging out with Shaaba. Because you said something. You said, as long as you feel you can hang out with Joe in the same way that you did before. I feel like that would absolutely change. Because it's up to Joe, right? If he doesn't want that, if he wants to have Sarah involved and he actually doesn't like spending time away from Sarah, that's Joe's prerogative.
Yeah, sure. No,
And
I
maybe
do
then the
hear you.
friendship does change.
I agree with you on that, but maybe that's
what
an
needs to happen.
accepting of like, if you feel like you'd want to hang out with Joe in the same way as before, but
That's
you can't
how the
because he
banana
doesn't want
ripens.
to. That is how the banana ripens.
Sometimes.
It's so hard though, because I can't think of a context where I would meet a new person.
No, you totally
Like,
can. I think you're
it's
really
so
like
hard.
doubting yourself. You have friends.
No,
so-
I have friends, but like none of them would turn around to me and say, not Shaaba.
But I think it's because we're all so similar.
Yeah.
There are some people who like just don't get my ADHD-ness, and they're like, I'm a bit scared of Shaaba. And I'm like, fine, you two hang out, it's chill.
I do hear you, because when you frame it in that context, I would feel a little protective of you.
Right,
And I'd be
like-
but I think Shaba's amazing, and why would you not want to spend time with this amazing person? And if you don't want to spend time with her, I think that's rude.
I too would probably feel the same way. However, at the same time, I'm like, I get it. If you just don't like, you know, Jamie's vibe or whatever, if it was with me and my
Although-
friend, I would get it. I don't know. It'd need to be a really, really, really special friend.
I do hear you. Yeah.
And I do hear you too. I think ultimately it's up to Joe, isn't it? Like, kind of like how much he wants this new relationship, how much he wants it to affect his
Yeah.
existing friendship.
Yeah.
And I think either way is up to him, and then it's up to you. But I do want to call out OP a little bit in that saying no to this event and recognizing that this event was wrong is very different to then saying, well, I don't want to hang out with her ever again.
Yeah.
So I'm going to
I
say
do.
maybe everybody sucks here,
That's the same as me.
but where you're mostly not the drama.
And I think it could just be phrasing. I think OP could actually turn out to be not the drama at all if they just poorly phrased it. And they're like, no, I would hang out with her, but in these intimate situations, I really don't want her to be there
You
yet.
know what, sir? I actually think we've got used of a badge that we very, very rarely use. So I'm going to get rid of my not the drama and bring in undeserved drama. Because I do think it's not fair that OP is in this position. So I think you're undeserved drama, but also with a little bit everybody sucks here, because I don't think that you should be extrapolating it to never see her again. Give it a go.
Yeah, and I think that Joe was the drama for inviting her to such a small thing at your house.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
never invite somebody to somebody else's house unless you run it past them first.
It's a bit weird.
It's weird behaviour.
Even from a close loved one.
Yeah, unless they're literally doing open house, massive party, bring your buddies. That's the only context in which I
No,
don't.
even then I would expect to be like,
No.
I'm coming and I'm bringing so-and-so.
Okay, that's like the one time where...
Even if it's not asking permission, like an acknowledgement of, and I'm bringing.
And I'm bringing. Joe is the drama here as well.
Yes, that is definitely why Joe's drama. I don't think the girlfriend's drama at all.
No.
And I'm not saying, you know, like, give it another go, because, like, there must be something and you must absolutely find something and you must, you know, like, put all of your wants to one side and make it work to be the bigger person. I'm just saying it's only been once. I don't think you've given it a fair shot. Think about the time where we've met some people first time, like, once, and how different they are to that once.
And how would you feel if instead of hanging out for 12 hours, she'd said, I've met her about 4 times and we've hung out for a couple hours each time. It's actually less time spent together, but more often. Would you still be going, oh, just give a few more times?
But I don't think it's about how long you spend at that one time. It's what you're doing. Because I think so much of friendship and just relationship in general
Yeah.
is built off of shared experience. So, you know, like one time doing one thing versus 4 times doing a different thing each time, I do think makes a difference.
So what I'm hearing is a balance is good. Time and activity are important.
And shared experience. It doesn't need to be
Sure.
activity, but just shared experience.
Shared experience. I want to see what other people have to say. You can lie all you want about compatibility, but we all know you're jealous.
Oh!
You're the drama. Oh, do you know, that didn't even come into mind for me.
This is so interesting because this is like what we were talking about at the beginning.
can
This
you-
is the straight
yeah,
heteronormative
because
mindset.
If this was a
You can't be
straight
friends
dude,
with a boy because you're a girl.
Yeah.
Clearly you're into him.
if OP was a straight dude,
Would you say that?
or would you be like, no, I can see, yeah, it's probably a bit boring, isn't she? You're only saying that because OP is a woman.
Interesting. I call you out, commenter. I disagree.
I don't disagree that it could be a possibility,
Yeah.
but we do not have even a smidge of information that would suggest that. So therefore,
It
I
is
don't
only
feel
a
like it can
possibility.
be something that we can actually give a badge on.
You are the drummer.
At this point, they're a package deal. You say she's nice, but ramble on that you don't like her. But you can say that somebody's nice, but that you don't get on with them.
Yeah, I think that's
I
fine.
think
And
that's
also,
unfair.
I think it's a bit weird to be like they're a package deal when they've just started dating.
OP's only been friends with Joe for, what, like 8 months?
Yeah.
And they've said girlfriend is recent.
Yeah.
And I'd say, like, that must be the last few months
That's
to
a bit
feel...
weird.
Yeah.
It's a bit weird, this comment.
They continue, you being upset that you don't get to spend time with just Joe comes off as super jealous, possessive, and pick me. If you can't stand Sarah that much, then it's time to scale back your friendship with Joe.
I do agree with this.
Also, you don't need to have only common interests to be friends with somebody.
And I do agree with that. So I agree you need to scale back the friendship with Joe if Joe's also not into now hanging out with you
Yeah.
alone.
I agree with that, yes.
And I do agree that you don't have to only have common interests to be friends with
I
someone.
feel like everybody is ignoring the fact that Joe just invited somebody to OP's house
I
that
agree
she'd only
with
met met once.
I even entirely forgot that looking at these comments because none of them are focusing on that. But
why?
both things can be true. Joe can be wrong for doing that, and OP can be wrong
Okey-dokey.
for, like, then
Yeah.
extrapolating that to, I never want to hang out with her again.
But this is another person saying that OP sounds
To
jealous.
do with jealous. Do you know that possessiveness didn't even come into my mind because it didn't feel like that's where it was coming from.
Yeah, and OP even said, look, this is not coming from this place.
And acknowledged that it could not be coming from that place.
I just have my buddy. I don't feel like I click with his
Yeah.
girlfriend, so I just want to like hang out and have a gathering at my apartment without her. You are the drama. You're also being a shit friend. You know damn well you're
Wow.
going to cause issues in his relationship.
I am not understanding this forum and like the level of hate towards OP. Is anyone else
I think
as shocked
everybody's
as I
just
am?
labelled her the jealous,
Oh,
secretly
you're
in love
clearly
with her
into
best friend.
Joe.
Yeah. We did give her a bit of a drama badge as well because I don't think all of the behaviour and attitude was fair. However, she was not the only person causing issues. And if somebody gets a new partner and you're just getting introduced to them, I don't think you have to automatically suddenly change all the ways that you're friends.
Yeah, I will also say, and I don't mean to make it too deep, but like there is such a tendency online to have such black and white thinking. I feel like social media, cultural, everything has made us think that we must have a single, very polarized view on every single issue. And so people here are like forgetting that there is nuance and it's
Yeah.
okay to live in this grey.
Yeah.
Both things can be true. OP can have done some wrong and also be totally entitled to be pissed off at the fact that Joe invited unfairly.
Yeah.
Don't invite your friends without your friend's partner unless there's a more solid reason than we don't have anything in common. You don't have to be besties with her.
But if OP's doing a small gathering at their own home, they have every right to invite whoever they want into their own home.
If we were doing a small gathering and one of our friends had just gotten into a new relationship, I would not at all expect that person to just
Automatically
on a whim,
bring them.
automatically bring them.
Yeah.
That would really piss me off.
Yeah.
I don't think any of our friends would do that.
No.
It's weird to me.
weird to me, and it's weird to me that everybody's just like, oh no, he has a girlfriend.
She now must come to
She now
everything.
must be there in your life in its entirety.
When you take a shit, she must be present.
People in relationships can do things separately.
You're the drama, like, as a person.
When my brother brought home his now wife, we immediately knew we had nothing in common. I mean, brother situation is a bit different.
It is.
Because, like, they'll be bringing them to family things. It took us months to find something we both love, musicals. Despite that, we never stopped trying. We never stopped being friendly. We always took the opportunity to be together as a boon because it gave us time to find what we can both enjoy.
I don't know what a boon means.
I don't know what a boon
but
is.
I will say I do agree with where this comment is coming from. This is what I'm saying. If you like Joe enough, family, friends, chosen family, whatever it might be, I do
Yeah.
think that if you care about Joe enough, you will make that effort to find the musical equivalent that this commenter is saying, because there will be something out there. And if it's not, that's fine. Maybe there isn't, because there is a possibility that
Yeah.
is the case. You're not going to know that after one try.
I'm
You're
just-
just like, I'm done with people.
I hear you, but I do just get it. If you really feel like you don't click with somebody, if Joe is not the kind of person who needs to be in the pocket of his girlfriend all the time, I
What do
can
they
see
say?
why you wouldn't.
First impressions are sometimes like bad Picassos or something.
Okay.
Like first impressions can be sour, gone off. You know what I'm trying to say?
I feel like I do.
There's a phrasing about first impressions
Yeah,
not
yeah.
being good. Maybe that was a first impression boo-boo.
Maybe.
You're telling me that the first time you met someone is all you needed to know if you're going to be friends with them. Think about like all of the people that you know, all of the friends that you have. You really didn't have any inklings of like, after just the first time of meeting them. I can also think of phrases where we're like, we're not going to make judgments, but like, I have some reservations. I need to know them better.
Yeah, but I have also met people that I've been like, no. But they're just not partners of close friends. But I have met people where I'm like, I do not need to hang out with you again.
I know we will never, ever, ever be friends.
Yeah.
I know the kind of person you're talking about. Like just the cookie cutter template of a person that we'd be like, you do your thing over there. I know that we would never fit in the same social circle, but I would never expect a friend of mine to bring someone like that into it. I don't know. This commenter says you're putting zero effort into getting to know a woman who might become your friend's lifelong partner. You decide after one day that she isn't worth it. And if that doesn't make you a lazy, judgmental, catty asshole, I don't know what does. The worst part is she isn't even a bad person by your own admission. She's done nothing wrong but be boring, and you decide that it's enough to cut someone out of your life forever? You're gross. Okay, this comment went in hard.
Really hard.
Really hard. I think it's too harsh, but I can see where they're coming
I
from.
get that second to last bit. The worst bit, she's not really a bad person. By your own admission, she's done nothing wrong. She's just boring.
Yeah.
Like, I get it, but like, I am unsure as to whether OP did mean entirely or just in certain contexts that were more intimate with close friends.
What, that she's boring?
No, that OP doesn't want to like hang out with her in those contexts.
No, I do think that
You
OP
think it
was
was-
suggesting,
yeah.
I don't want to. And I mean, looking at the title too, I do think OP being a
Sure.
bit sneaky and put them together.
Okay.
No drama here.
You're not the drama for wanting to hang out with Joe without her, but he's also not one for wanting to be considered a social unit with her.
Yes, I
hear
totally
that.
agree with this.
There are situations where you can hang out with him without her if he's part of a group of friends that all met through the same places and you invite all those people without their partners, then you can exclude her as well because all the partners are being excluded at once.
I disagree with this because I do think that there's a time difference as well. Like if some of your friends have been together with their partners for ages and you're all a solid friend group, that's really different to one friend just bringing a very new partner.
Yes.
I can see a world in which
well,
one person can bring a partner and one person cannot.
Sometimes the partners, though, have become part of that specific friendship group
Exactly.
because they were there from the beginning.
Yeah.
So
Or
whilst
not,
they're
maybe
still...
not even from the beginning, but just
for
longer.
a long, so whilst they're still considered partners, is not in the same context as a
Yes.
new person.
Yeah.
You can also specifically invite him to do stuff that you know won't interest her. However, if you invite friends with their partners, you have to invite her. If you invite him, that's how couples work.
I don't know. I was kind of agreeing with the first part of this comment about, you know, like the social unit and blah, blah, blah. But I disagree with the fact that there's no drama because I definitely think that Joe was wrong for the invite. There is some drama here for sure.
Yeah.
And I don't agree that if you have friends with partners, you must invite them together. You mustn't expect one to come without the other. That's fine. But you don't always have to invite them together. Even us, with all of our friends knowing that we're a social unit, I will not be mad at anybody who invites you to something without me or vice versa. I get it. There are certain contexts in which it doesn't work, even
Yeah.
within family. Maybe my sister just wants to hang out with me.
Totally fine.
Maybe my friends and I who do gaming stuff want to do certain things without you. That's okay. Maybe
Yeah.
you want to do book stuff without me. So fine.
Yeah.
Even with our joint friends. Maybe you want to go with one of our joint friends, just the two of you. Free will, baby!
I
I
hear
think this
you.
is one for the peaches. This is funny because I feel like we are also we've come to the same bad conclusion.
Yeah.
But we're disagreeing with the context, and that's okay. It's okay to have different opinions. Voice them, and I'd so love to hear what you think. But just remember to be kind. Drama. Would I be the drummer if I told my coworker to stop smacking her lips when she oats?
No. Hi everyone, I'm caught in a dilemma and I can't figure out if I'd be helping or harming a relationship I have with my coworker.
Interesting. Let's see if we can help you out.
OP says, I'm a 27-year-old woman and my coworker is a 32-year-old woman and we've been working together for about a year and a half now.
Noted.
Our company isn't huge, so everyone knows everyone quite well and has a positive relationship. Very cute. Except for when we eat.
I love how that's a separate line.
Yeah, it's
Like,
literally not just a separate
except-
sentence.
for when we eat.
I mean, I said it all jolly, but it's probably like the except for when we eat. Coworker A has this habit of smacking her lips pretty loudly when she eats.
Oh, I love that. Just a little...
Stop it now. No, that annoys me. I'm pretty sure it's a cultural thing. We come from similar ethnic backgrounds, as people in our community do that pretty often.
What culture smacks their lips?
I'm not sure. My parents made a point to nip that habit in the bud when I was a kid, so I'm extra cognizant of that when I'm around other people.
Cognizant.
I think it means conscious, or like aware.
Whoa. That just looks like such a flamboyant camp word,
Read
doesn't
it.
it? Cognizant. Isn't it beautiful? Look at it. It's so zingy. Can you see it?
Yes, I read it.
Like it's a sexy word. It looks like pineapple.
Are you ready to move on after falling in love with a word?
1 second. Define cognizant. Having knowledge or awareness.
OP continues, it doesn't matter what the food is, there's just always lip smacking. I've been intentional about eating when she doesn't, but the way our office is situated, the kitchen is pretty open and we can hear/see when someone is having lunch.
Wow.
I once was eating noodles while she was working.
Okay, can I just say that noodles are such a faux pas to eat as an office lunch anyway? Well, it depends. Are you talking about like ramen? Because that's a big faux pas. If you're talking about like a little pasta thing, because I know sometimes Americans call pasta noodles.
Oh yeah, it could be, I was thinking like a ramen bowl.
Yeah, with like wet soupy stuff. Like you don't eat that in the office. It's gonna go all over inside your keyboard. Carry on.
I was once eating noodles while she was working and made a comment along the lines of, oh, I hate how loud it sounds when I eat noodles within her earshot. That's so passive. It's not quite passive aggressive, but it's so like...
I love the strategy. Do you think Ovi said, I'm gonna bring noodles specifically today so I can make this comment?
Maybe.
That's iconic.
But OP's colleague said, and she very kindly said, hey, no judgment here, eat as loud as you want.
So clearly it's something that doesn't bother her.
Yeah, clearly coworker A is just like, chill. Eating sounds don't bother me. Maybe OP has, what's it called? Like the mysophonia, where
Yeah.
you really, it gets to you.
It's just always misophonia. Misophonia. That's what comes in my head every single time. It's just misophonia. Like, how can you not? You'll never hear it the same again.
She is super nice, super kind, and outside of that is a great co-worker, but it's gotten to the point where when she eats, I have to put in noise-cancelling headphones to drown out the lip-smacking noises, / actively avoid eating at the same time as her because it grates on my nerves so much.
That noise-cancelling earphones is a very clever office hack.
Yeah.
Good idea. I will say something, though. If noises annoy you, so, like, Jamie is really sensitive to eating sounds. Actually, so am I. Like,
Yeah.
when I'm working, I do get a bit ragey. It's one of my, like, ADHD pet
But
peeves.
then you will sit next to me in bed and eat orange segments.
Jamie cannot stand when I eat fruit at all. And you know what
Squelchy
I can't stand? What Jamie eats? And it's perfect, right? We've hacked the system. When Jamie eats popcorn, oh my God. It's just as bad as me eating fruit. So you know what we do? I eat fruit when he eats popcorn.
Yeah.
He's like, no, stop, don't eat it yet. He goes, gets a little bottle of popcorn.
Yeah. And then
It
we
works out
both
great.
eat at the same time. We don't get annoyed with each other because we can only hear our own eating.
Right, and unless you could hear somebody else if you were specifically like tuning into it.
But it doesn't, there's something psychologically, it just doesn't bother me when I'm also making sounds.
Maybe because you're not focusing on it, because you can hear yourself in your mind. You know, like when you can hear your own eating sounds in your head.
Yeah.
Because, like, it sounds different.
Like you ate an orange in bed last night.
Yeah, and I can hear myself being like, which
It
sounds
was the
different
biting,
in my head.
But then, like, all the juice being swallowed, and I could hear every inch of it.
Any fruit, Jamie hates it. Strawberries, grapes seem to be the worst.
Yeah, you eat fine,
Yeah, but it's just fruit, because anything squelchy.
and you don't like crunchy.
And I don't massively love crunchy. And so, my point is, it's confusing to me when Opie says, and so I can't eat at the same time she's eating, because I would suggest that as a hack to be like, eat at the same time, watch your Netflix thing with your headphones on, and eat food, and then you'd be all right.
Yeah, perfect. I'm a fairly confrontational person and wouldn't mind mentioning it to her, but I can also see making any comment around coming across as hurtful / insensitive.
I see that.
Yeah, especially when OP seems to have an awareness that it may be a cultural thing.
I'm struggling to see how it's a cultural thing. I'm not gonna lie.
I have no knowledge, so I'm just going to take the post at what's been said.
Do you know what it's giving me feelings of? Which is going to sound like really bizarre. There's a reason that I'm pushing back on the cultural thing a little bit, and maybe I'm wrong for doing so, but I just want to share where it's coming from. When I was a teen,
Right.
there was a bus campaign in the UK. I don't know if you remember this. Maybe it's something that lots of white people like maybe didn't pay attention
Don't
to.
run over the hedgehogs.
No. The bus campaign in the UK said, be aware that people bring smelly foods.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It felt so bizarre to me. All of the buses in the area, maybe it was just a London thing, but all of the buses were saying, be aware that we have a diverse community, blah, 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 smelly foods. It was so bizarre to me, though, because of the way that it phrased, it felt inherently racist.
Yeah.
Because I was like, do not be here being like, oh, don't attack other people who are carrying curries and stuff because it smells different, but you're calling it smelly. Like, you're literally associating a negative connotation.
Smelly,
And
yeah.
othering, even if it wasn't the word smelly, you're othering by saying that. It was so bizarre to me. And I get it, like, on tubes, even when people bring in, like, a McDonald's, sometimes I feel a little bit queasy.
Yeah, I don't like the connotation of like, oh, it's diverse, so please accept it. A tuna sandwich smells worse than anything else that can be brought on.
Onion?
Yeah.
Crisps? Are you kidding me? Like, there are
Like, bring a
worlds.
curry any day over some fish, which is more likely for, like, you know, fish and chips, tuna sandwiches. Like, I call bullshit. It's just racism at this point.
I
when it's-
do think it can, yeah, and it may be coming from a good place of like, oh, don't have a go at the little brown lady for carrying a curry on the bus. Like, I see
won't.
that.
I love
or like,
you.
you know, for an Eastern Asian person, or whatever it might be. But also, like, by this means, I still think we need to hold people to account. Don't have open food out where you're clearly providing pollution of any kind. In the same way you can't do noise pollution, don't do smell pollution, which is clearly going to bother some people. Do you see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Treat a sandwich as you would a curry. That's what's making me feel uncomfortable. I don't think we can be excusing things that are objectively not an okay thing to do just because it's cultural. I find it a bit weird to be like, I think it's a cultural thing. But this could be entirely ignorant from me because I don't understand what culture has lip smacking as like a cherished, protected practice. So this would give me the same kind of energy. Like, if
Okay.
someone's doing something wrong, call out the wrong thing. Like, if someone's making noise that is not appropriate for a workplace, call out the noise.
Right.
Don't be like, oh, it's okay for you to lip smack because you're from a culture that allows it, whereas you, Jerry, white person, can't lip smack. It's just bizarre.
So are you questioning maybe if this was somebody from a different culture to OP, where it's not known to be lip smacking when eating, OP would have less hesitancy in calling it out?
Well, clearly, but that's weird to me.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
I
Like, I feel like if lip smacking's going to annoy you, lip smacking's going to annoy you whether it's a brown person doing it or a white person doing it. It doesn't matter about culture.
Sure.
It's the fact that it is a bit annoying to be making excess noise in a workplace. But then, equally, it's a bit rude to call out the way that somebody eats, whether they're a white person eating chicken wings with food all over their mouth or a brown person eating chicken wings with food all over their mouth.
Got you.
You know?
Yeah. I haven't talked to my co-workers about it because it feels gossipy to do so. I think it would be, yeah.
I think that's the right move.
And I don't want to make what is otherwise a minor issue a huge thing. Most people in the area I live in aren't confrontational either, so me being upfront is a bit unorthodox already. Will I be the drama if I said something to her?
I think you would.
I think you would, but like...
That's my badge.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Does he say
yeah,
badge?
yeah.
Okay, just checking.
I think you would be, because yes, it is frustrating when people eat loudly, and I think it would be nicer if everybody ate nice, quietly and daintily and didn't upset others. However, you found a workaround. Noise cancelling headphones. You don't eat at the same time. Although I do think it's a good idea having your break at the same time eating, but maybe watching something or listening to something. It's something that would annoy me, but I would never bring it up because I'm like, it's not my place. It bugs me, but
yeah.
you know.
I think there are people that you could bring it up to, but I don't think a co-worker in office is a good idea for it. You know, like if it was my partner, I'd be like, babe, I need to be vulnerable and let you know that this really bugs me. As we did with like the fruit and the popcorn, and that's okay. But
now we just side-eye each other like...
Or be like, it's not your fault, you are perfectly entitled to eat that, but please could you just wait until I turn the television on, or, you know, put some sort of noise on as a distraction, and that's okay too.
And we'll literally sometimes say to each other, I love you, I just want you to know I'm a little bit grumpy.
Yes.
About the eating.
Your noise is annoying me, and you are very okay to be making it, but I needed to voice that, because if I didn't, it would manifest in something more grumpy. Fine. A co-worker though,
no.
That is not your place at all. And also, we all do things that are a little bit annoying. We are not perfect people, especially as co-workers. I know that I fidget a lot. Sometimes I sing, and people will find that really annoying, or make weird noises, or the way that I type is too ferocious, and people really don't like the way that I type. Some people complain that it sounds like a spider running ferociously across a keyboard.
Spider would be too dainty. But I put headphones on.
It's how I work. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's people. We're flawed beings. Accept the fact that you're in an office.
The other thing to think about, especially with a colleague, like it can sometimes be different with a partner, but with a colleague, you are not going to change the way this woman eats.
Yeah.
That's you bringing it up is going to do nothing but potentially cause issues, make her feel self-conscious, and upset the general environment in the office potentially. It's not going to make you feel better about her eating, because she will still eat the same, because she is a 32-year-old woman. It's unlikely that her eating habit is going to change.
I think if it causes harm, it's different. Do you know what I mean? Like if they were doing something that was unsafe in the office, or causing a genuine, or like, you know, waste of resources, or
tooting constantly and it was stinky and loud. If I had a co-worker who farted every hour and it was really big and loud, I would
So that also means that it
something.
has to be within the realm of social norms, right?
Yeah.
And like eating noises are within the realms of social norms, whereas farting a lot
in public
or burping a lot even, and that can be a cultural thing.
It can
right
be. Yeah,
you don't do that in an office, whether it's coming from a cultural place or not. You don't do it in an office.
Yeah, I hear you. But this eating sound, whether it's coming from a cultural place or not, people eat all kinds of ways, and it's one of those things that we've just got to deal with.
Do you get where I'm coming from with the cultural thing though? Because I don't want to sound like in any way, I don't want it to come across as controversial. Obviously I'm not coming at it from like a racist place.
No, you're coming at it from the opposite place of like, you're basically like, call a turd a turd. Don't try and like excuse it.
Excusing bad behaviour from culture, I feel, is just as racist as being racist is.
Yeah.
Not just as racist, but, you know, also has like a racial connotation. Like, treat people the same.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, cool. I'm glad that came across.
Yeah.
Should we see what the people have to say?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
You would be the drama.
I get it. It drives you nuts. Many people have this issue. Here's the thing. What do you expect her to do about it? Feel ashamed and suddenly get super awkward about her eating? Your parents may have made you ashamed about it, but do you really want to pass that on to someone else?
I think, like, it's an interesting concept as well to be like, oh, well, you were shamed for it. Do you really want to put that shame on other people? It makes it sound like you're bad for doing it. I don't think it's bad. I just think it's different.
I also think if, like, a kid eats gross, tell them they eat gross, because, like, if you're you're a parent, that's part of parenting, whereas being an adult colleague, it's not
You
part
can't
of
school your
the realm of
co-workers
social
on
norms.
how they eat.
Yeah. Like if a child is like sticking their tongue out and like eating with their mouth open, you say, because that's not within like social norms of how they should eat around people.
I'm with you. I'm questioning if it's like a rule that should exist, but it is definitely a rule that does exist.
Yeah.
She could learn basic table manners for someone else.
Right. I'm kind of wondering if the coworker doesn't know that other people find it really annoying. Wouldn't it be easy to not do and let everyone enjoy lunchtime in peace?
But then, like, wouldn't it be easier for you to shut up and just let someone enjoy their lunch in peace? Do you know what I mean? Like, it works both ways. I'm not saying that that's the case. I'm just saying, like, it comes from a really entitled position to be like, everyone must eat the way that I eat.
Yeah. And it's also like, so you have to put headphones on for 10, 15 minutes during the day.
You're working with other people
Like-
in a communal space. If you're not working privately, you have to accept and compromise that other people live different, exist different to how you do.
Just go take a dump.
I'm sure there are things that you do that really piss off other people. You don't need to be in the office at
Yeah,
lunchtime.
yeah.
You know? Be on the phone. Do something else. It's okay. Live and let live.
Yeah.
Opie actually responded to that one and said, I don't think she knows, which is why I'm partial to saying something, because I'd want someone to do the same if it were reversed. I don't know. And someone else has actually responded to that and said, except the OP mentioned it's cultural, so to her culture, it is basic table manners. And maybe it is. My point is, out of this whole thing, I'm sure there are things that OP does that other people in an office will not enjoy. There's things that every single person does that is what other people would not enjoy. But just because it's not the way that you do it doesn't mean it's the only way that can be done. We must accommodate. If you're not being unsafe, if you're not being outside the realm of social norm, get on with your day.
I do think with these types of scenarios, we do need to weigh up the pros and cons as well and be like, is the potential ramifications of saying this to somebody going to lead to more positives than negatives? And I think in this situation, it's definitely got more potential to lead to negatives than any
Especially
positive.
when partnered with the question of, is this within the realm of professional? And I don't think this would be.
Yeah.
I have mysophonia. Mysophonia. And earbuds are your friend. Put in one while you eat and listen to music or a podcast. If other people's eating is too loud to ignore, put in both.
Yeah.
Agreed. Simple.
A coworker eating loudly and grossly is the kind of thing you come home to and have a moan about. And you're like, oh. But like, you put your headphones in and you deal with it.
Do you have any colleague things that really annoyed you that you can think of? I can think of one that you told me.
I have a colleague who types really loud. I have a colleague who eats fruit a lot, very close to me. I have a colleague who farts in the office quite frequently.
I'm talking about in your past career, sir. Your
colleague
past job
who-
roles. I do
roles.
all of those things, by the way. There was a colleague who had very bizarre coffee habits that you come back and moan about.
Yeah, no, but that's just because, like, I worked with somebody who would disappear literally every half an hour whilst we were supposed to be working together.
That's nothing.
and
There are some people who excessively use the toilets in office.
Yeah, and, like, go away for 5 minutes each time to get a refill of coffee.
And then come back shaking.
And it's like, so every hour you're getting a 10-minute break and I'm sat here working and keeping an eye on something we're supposed to be doing together.
Other people do
bugged me.
smoke breaks, and it bugs me when they come in smelling like smoke. Other people are on their phone a lot. Other people make weird sounds. Other people whistle. Do you know how annoying that is? Have you been in an office with a whistling person?
Do you know what else you do?
I do like the body drums. I don't do that during work.
You do. You can only do it on one thigh right now. Aww.
Not the drummer.
Because lip smacking and noisy eating is rude in lots of places, but there's literally no way to address this without looking like an asshole. So I would just leave it alone and stick to the headphones.
I'm with you. Just leave it.
But I don't think that makes OP not the drama. That it would I be the drama? And it says yes, she would be if she were to bring it up because it is pointless to bring up and is only going to cause harm.
Yeah.
But you're not being the drama by being irritated by it.
Agreed. Oh, there's an edit.
There's an edit. I hear you and my coworker. Ha 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 ha. So funny. I would be the drama. You guys are right. It's a me problem and I can't police other people's behaviour.
Oh, yes, OP.
I was conflicted because I think I'd want someone to tell me if it were reversed, and I think that is coming from being shamed as a child.
Maybe.
And being like, well, it was taught out of me.
Yeah.
But I get that even coming out to say something like that requires a lot of nuance and careful planning. I appreciate the empathy to misophonia, a new thing I learned through this post, and the honesty.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God for noise cancelling headphones.
That is the correct answer.
Growth.
Thank you, OP.
Like a beautiful little sunflower.
I love that. Thank you for restoring some faith in humanity, OP. Oh, drama. We did do it.
Am I the drama for kicking my ex-boyfriend to the curb?
Ooh, dramatique. And this is coming from a fellow Peach. Just a little reminder to any Peach listening to this episode that you too can submit your own drama over the R1800 drama subreddit.
Yes, you
can also help other Peaches with their drama there too, because we can't get through every single one on this podcast. Oh no! Let's see if we can help this O Peach out. OP, a 30-year-old woman, and her ex, a 30-year-old man, recently broke up.
Oh.
Sorry to hear that. We'd been together for a year and living together for the last 3 months of our relationship. For context, the apartment that we lived in is mine. Before we met, my ex lived at his parents' place and was actually considering moving in with a friend since he doesn't really get along with his family. A couple of months into our relationship, we had a conversation about potentially having children at some point. It's a very difficult conversation to have. We both agreed that we'd like to in a few years, but we're not ready right now. Sounds very reasonable. Cut to a few weeks ago, he told me a friend of his who is the parent of a 5-year-old had gotten pregnant by accident. I took the opportunity to ask how he'd feel if something like that happened to us, and he said he'd want me to get rid of it.
Oh.
Interesting. I told him that even though I'm pro-choice, I don't think I would want to have an abortion myself, even if the pregnancy wasn't planned. I'm fortunate enough to have a stable job and a comfortable home that could accommodate a child, not to mention a pretty solid support network. So whilst it would definitely be an adjustment, I think I'd be up for the task.
Got you.
My ex did not see it that way. Not only did he argue that I would not be a fit mother, whoa, but that if we did get accidentally pregnant, he would try to convince me to end the pregnancy. And if I still refused, he would leave.
Get out. I get the conversation around, like, I'm not ready to be a parent myself, but you cannot ever tell somebody what to do with their own body. And the fact that you would tell someone that you supposedly loved and was talking about having children within a few years' time that they wouldn't be a fit mother, that is beyond shit.
I think there's like multiple things going on here, right? The fit mother thing, big red flag.
Yeah.
Already, like, just a horrible, horrible thing to say. Even if it's something that you feel, there's a way to address that with kindness. And you certainly don't say that after having the conversation that you will in a few years. That's such a bizarre trajectory
what did he think
to have.
was going to change in 3 years' time?
Right? Very, very odd. The second thing that, like, as you just said, like, blaring klaxons, your body, your choice.
Yeah.
It is that simple. I can understand the viewpoint of, well, it's my life too. I would be in this life too. And even though it's your body, this also means that I would have responsibility over a child. Do you see what I'm saying? At the same time, I don't think that being in a relationship with somebody ever trumps the fact that it's your body, your choice. That still reigns supreme.
Yeah.
I can't budge on that. I cannot see a world in which that would ever be budgeable.
And I do see this as an ultimatum setup, which I never agree with, because it's like, if you don't get an abortion, I will leave you. Wow.
But that's fine. Go. And like, in that sense, I think it's right that
But there
you
is
would
other ways
not be in a relationship.
phrase that. Also, what's confusing me is that he would go this hard in on a hypothetical conversation.
Really bizarre.
It's not even happened. Like, just be careful with what you do with your appendage. And it will be fine.
It's really bizarre behaviour, and you're right, it's the way that it's being treated as well. Like, it's the way that it's being said as well that is just a huge flag to me. What I'm saying is I don't think it's wrong for him to have that viewpoint that he wouldn't want to have an accidental child.
Yes, but like...
But to act this way is not appropriate.
Yeah, he is the accidental child.
And I would be saying the same thing if it was gender swapped. We're talking about gender quite a lot, and I do think there's a running theme of gender just being redundant in these conversations. I feel like this is also one of those situations. If it was the guy who wanted to do something with his body, whether it felt as trivial as something like a tattoo to something as massive as an abortion, whatever it might be, you decide what happens to your body, regardless of the relationship that you're in.
Yeah.
I was shocked by this, says OP. I'd be shocked too.
Yeah.
How could I feel secure in a relationship with someone who would so casually talk about leaving his pregnant partner? And if he was willing to do that, then how could I expect him to stand by my side if/when life threw other stuff our way?
That is such a good point. And then what if you did actually mutually decide to have kids in a few years, and then at any point he's like, nah, I'm out, and he bails because he's got that kind of mindset?
Yeah. What if I had an accident and needed help to feed or clean myself whilst recovering? What if one of my parents or grandparents passed away and I needed a shoulder to cry on? I felt like I couldn't trust him.
Don't blame you.
And you know what? You are very entitled to feel that way. After talking it through with my therapist and a number of my friends, I decided to end the relationship. This meant that he had to move out of the house and back with his parents, which he very much didn't want to do.
Well, then he shouldn't have been a dick.
sounds like a him problem.
That is
babe.
definitely a him problem.
He called me a spoilt brat who didn't understand the struggle of having to live with your parents well into adulthood and said I was being cruel by kicking him out like
I think
that.
he sounds like a spoilt brat,
I know.
not understanding the privilege of having parents that you can live with.
Well, also, calling you a spoilt brat, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think just reinforces that this clearly is not partner material.
Like, calling you an unfit mother and a spoilt brat, like, is somebody who's not afraid to go out of their way to find language to be hurtful deliberately.
It's someone who's not treating you with respect.
Yeah.
And ultimately, that's what I think any kind of relationship
Yeah.
should have a foundation of, romantic or otherwise. So, am I the drama for breaking up with my ex and thus kicking him out of the house? No, babe.
No.
I really don't think you are. I think you've been very brave. I think this was a massive thing to do, especially over a hypothetical, which I can see in some instances people will be like,
bury their head and be like, no, it was just hypothetical. It's
oh,
not
I'm sure
actually
he won't
happened.
actually act like that way,
Yeah.
you know, like just wait, and when it actually happened, you'd see he'd stick around, whatever it might be.
But what did you say? When someone shows you who they really are, you listen. Yeah. And he showed his true colours and you were like, piss off. And I think that is absolutely the right thing to have done.
I do think that hypotheticals are really important in that regard. If words are spoken, there is an element of truth all
Yeah.
the time, whether it be real or not. I think you're so right to be like, well, if this is what it's like in a hypothetical, imagine if something really
I was just going to say,
happened.
yeah, if he's willing to use that kind of language and
Now.
be that strong when it's not even happened.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Peach. This feels like a very tricky thing for you to have gone through, and it looks like this is one of the posts that's had a huge amount of activity. So I'm glad you've gotten some support. Should we see what some of those responses are?
Yes. Nope, totally agree. You can break up for any reason, still not the drama. His housing, not your problem.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I just like the nope.
With the rest, I wouldn't want to co-parent a child with you, so I would end the relationship if you wanted to keep an unplanned pregnancy is not unreasonable and doesn't necessarily imply that other things you're saying, but I suspect you have more evidence that suggests that you are correct about your feelings. He wouldn't be there for you, and also you'd be a shit parent is a terrible thing to say to anyone.
Yeah.
Like, even if you thought it, way more appropriate to ask some specific questions like, hey, you seem to really struggle with a lot of self-care tasks for you. Have you thought about how you'll manage the extra workload of a kid too? Not just, nah, you'd be shit at it, oh my god. So yeah, totally sounds like you did the right thing. Enjoy your space. Good luck with the cesspool that's online dating when you're ready to go back. I hear that. I think having that feeling of like, if you're not ready to parent and it's unplanned, yes.
Oh, about it, you know, like not being an unreasonable thing to say. I
Ending
do agree with
the
that.
relationship, but maybe I am wrong for this because I am also someone who is not ever going to be in a position of accidental pregnancies occurring. I do still think if you are two adults and you, both of you jointly don't take the responsibility, and I know sometimes there can be occasions where it's a total accident and you have tried to take the precautions, but if you're two adults engaging in an activity that can lead to a pregnancy, if it happens, you may not want to be in a relationship to co-parent full time together, but I still think you have a responsibility.
I do agree with you. At the same time, I just think being realistic in a world
Yeah.
where someone is not willing to have that, I would rather you walk away than have to pull teeth to
And be like a half-assed.
right,
yeah.
like be a horrible influence that's going
Yeah.
to make things infinitely harder and not actually be there within the support network.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I do-
that plus the fact of just like autonomy. I'm all about autonomy.
Yeah, I
like
know,
people
I know.
need to want to do something.
I think it just
It's sad.
yeah, because I think somebody has every right over their body if they want to keep an unplanned pregnancy, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
They also have the right to not keep it.
Yeah.
You know where my stance is on that.
And that stance is also allowed to consider their support network. If they
Yeah.
feel like, well, I would have kept this if my partner would be around, but I don't want to if I'm having to do it alone, that is also entirely your
Yeah.
choice. Your body, your choice.
And there are ways people can communicate that. I think it just makes me feel sad that somebody would be prepared to purposefully leave a child without
Yeah.
a parent in their life.
Yeah.
Because what, for a couple more years, they're 30, they were talking about having kids in a few years, because for a couple more years you want to be child free. Like, I get it. I want to be child free for a couple more years. If it happened accidentally for us, I'd be like, I'm not quite ready, but I'm not going to bail.
I think it's really interesting as well, like, just that trajectory is still just not making any sense to me. How you can go from being like, yes, we do want kids. We want kids together in a few years.
Yeah.
To then being like, nope, I would leave you.
Yeah.
It's something else must be going on. If something isn't making sense, there's a reason for it not making sense. And I feel like you were right to uncover that stone.
Yes. And I do agree with this comment that I feel like there was more in that relationship as well.
Like that shit mother comment. Not the drama.
Your reason for kicking him out is so valid. He wanted to control your body by saying you can only be pregnant if it was the plan. It is true that needing to live with your parents as an adult, which I think is probably legit as housing is hard to find, is hard, but that's his problem now.
I also see
Yeah.
how, like, it's not just living with parents. Sometimes some people's households specifically can be really tricky at the same time. That happening to him should bear no weight on you feeling trapped in a relationship that you don't want to be in.
Yeah, it's something for him to deal with. You are so not the drama.
My personal guess is he was future faking you.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
You know, I didn't even, like, that thought didn't cross my mind.
But that, when it's like, make it make sense and it's not making sense, maybe this is why it didn't make sense.
Making plans that would then never happen. You want kids in the future? Me too. But if you get pregnant, the timing's not right. You want to get married? Yeah, we'll get married someday, but not now. Things aren't perfect yet. Wow. Future faking.
Yeah.
It's one of those phrases that you don't know what it means, but, like, it makes sense the second you hear it.
Yeah.
Don't let him gaslight you. The only thing I would suggest is if he helped pay any rent, then prorate how much is unpaid and issue a refund for the days that his stuff wasn't there to avoid him coming back to you later.
That does make sense, yeah. Like, if you paid for a month and moved out in the first week of that month.
Yeah.
Then just, to save any hassle, I guess.
I'm so sorry, Peach, that you're having to go through this. Not the drama.
You guys have different views on pregnancy. You did yourself a favour. He is not the baby daddy for you.
Kiss.
You are not the baby daddy. Goodbye.
I hope you're feeling supported in your decision, Peach. It sounds like you know that you did the right thing, and I'm hoping that your future baby daddy is out there for you when you're ready.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Peaches, for joining us with today's episode.
Hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching this over on YouTube, you can give a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more.
You totally can, and please do subscribe. If you made it this far, you'd be surprised that most people who watch these videos do not subscribe.
Yeah.
And it really, truly helps us out if you do.
Click that button.
Totally free for you.
And if you're listening to this over on a podcast platform, then please give us a lovely little rating because it really helps.
Yes, we are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all the other platforms where all podcasts live.
Yes.
We'll catch you next time with another episode. For now, be kind.
Much love.
And have a great day. Bye.
Bye.